guys, and welcome to Real Food. To celebrate the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park, I will be reviewing the movie, including spoilers, and whipping up a sweet treat inspired by the film. So,
go on to your butt.
all sensible people know that Jurassic Park is a good movie. But I didn't appreciate how good until I watched it more carefully this time around. First of all, the obvious, the score by John Williams is iconic, so adventurous, so memorable. Every time I hear it, I find myself humming it for the rest of the day. And don't tell me that's not true for you too. This movie also looks fantastic. There are stunning shots of scenery and landscapes that are real, which doesn't sound all that impressive, but it is far less common this day and age. I'm thinking in particular of the helicopter landing by the waterfall on Isla Nublar, and you can just tell it's real, and it really helps transport you to another world. Speaking of things that are real, the animatronics in this movie are something to behold.
Oh, wow.
The attention to detail is outstanding. Take the Triceratops, for example. She has tear lines around her eyes and foam around her mouth, and all of these details help to bring her to life. Admittedly, great, okay. Okay, here we go. More. Oh no. Okay. Admittedly, Laura Dern's perfect acting in this scene doesn't hurt either. Spielberg was one of the first to combine animatronics and CGI on the big screen, and even though this was 30 years ago now, it still looks seamless, and that's because it was used sparingly.
Turn the light off. Turn the light off.
Yes, there are about 5 minutes in the movie where dinosaurs are complete CGI, and they don't age as well, and oh no. But for the remaining 9 minutes that they're on screen, it is a blend of CGI and animatronics. And that just gives us dinosaurs that look and feel real. I was actually pretty terrified of the dinosaurs and spent a surprising amount of this movie scared. I mean, the beginning scene is someone getting torn apart by a velociraptor.
Shoot her!
Not to mention all of the other terrifying scenes with the raptors.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
And the Dilophosaurus.
Are you little?
And of course, the T-Rex. So for good reason, Jurassic Park is known for its effects, but it is at its core a human story. Let's start with the kids, for example.
Kids! Go away!
Their parents are going through a divorce, which leaves Tim, played by Joseph Mazzello, not so subtly looking for a surrogate father figure in Alan Grant.
I read your book.
Oh, it's great. Tim, which car were you planning on?
Whichever one you are.
You also have Lex, played by Ariana Richards, who is into computers and whose sick hacking skills come into handy at the end of the movie. Come into handy? Oh, okay.
It's an interactive CD-ROM. Look, see? You just touch the right part of the screen and it talks about whatever you want.
You have Lex and then bloop, and her sick hacking skills come in handy at the end of the movie.
You got it! Yes!
And that is pretty rad for a girl in 1993, if you ask me. Even the more minor characters are noteworthy, like Bob Peck, who has quads for days, who brings Jurassic Park game warden Muldoon to life with his iconic line reads.
I can see the shed from here. We can make it if we run.
No, we can't.
Why not?
Because we're being hunted.
Quiet, all of you. We're approaching the Tyrannosaur paddock.
Clever girl.
Martin Ferrero as the lawyer is also memorable. He, much like Muldoon, or really the interests he represents, have concerns about Jurassic Park being out of control.
Let's get something straight, John. This is not a weekend excursion. This is a serious investigation of the stability of the island. Your investors, whom I represent, are deeply concerned. 48 hours from now, if they're not convinced, I'm not convinced.
Another character who is concerned about Jurassic Park is, of course, chaotician Ian Malcolm, famously played by Jeff Goldblum.
See, here I'm now by myself, talking to myself. That's chaos theory.
And as you would have predicted, he is Jeff Goldbluming around right from the beginning. He is giving us some wacky line reads. He is chewing gum. He is touching everyone. He is way too touchy.
I do wish you wouldn't do that.
Why?
Did I go too fast? There's tiny variations. The orientation of the hairs on your hands.
Hey, Alan, look at this.
The amount of blood descending your vessels, imperfections in the skin.
Imperfections in the skin?
Microscopic.
He's touching everyone. Even... Oh no, I keep doing that. Okay. Even though his personality is a little bit over the top, his opinion about Jurassic Park is grounded and unwavering. From moment one, he is convinced that Jurassic Park is a bad idea.
Gee, the lack of humility before nature that's being displayed here staggers me. Don't you see the danger, John, inherent in what you're doing here? Genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Say the line, Bart!
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Because as a chaotician, he knows anything that can happen will. And so even though they have only engineered female dinosaurs, reproduction will... Damn.
Dinosaurs had their shot, and nature selected them for extinction.
And so even though they've only engineered female dinosaurs, he knows reproduction will happen eventually because life find a way. Laura Dern's performance as Ellie Sattler is unmatched. Yes, there are some character traits and some story beats that are stereotypically female. For example, she wants to take her relationship with Alan Grant to the next level and have children.
What are those?
Small versions of adults, honey.
But she is also independent and intelligent. At the beginning of the movie, you can see that she takes her job as a paleobotanist seriously. She has a goal of trying to get more funding for her work. And when they get to Jurassic Park, her expertise continues to come in handy, and she holds her own in scenes with action and danger, and scenes that require her to get messy. And yes, by that I mean wading through giant piles of dino poo. Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill, is probably the character with the most well-defined arc. He is painted as a man... Oops, sorry. They paint him as a man... Oh my gosh, no. He is painted as a person stuck in his ways. And side note, I just need to say how awesome it is at the beginning of the movie when they brush sand off the dino bones. back to Alan Grant. He is stuck in his ways. He is stuck in the past. However, oh no. Oh no.
That was a great one.
God. Alan Grant is stuck in his ways, stuck in the past, and he's having a hard time moving forward. We see this at the very beginning when he is having a hard time adjusting to the new technology on the worksite. We also know that he will not commit to having children with Ellie, but because this is a well-written movie, script, book, the plot forces him into situations where he has to confront everything that he is trying so hard to avoid. And so he finds himself saddled with 2 children while Jurassic Park descends into madness, and he has to abandon his oldest love, dinosaurs, and make a choice instead to prioritize and protect the future of these young children. There are countless times throughout the movie where he puts his life on the line in order to save these kids, and at the end, not only does he save Tim, but he actually brings him back to life with CPR. Last but not least, John Hammond, played by the esteemed Richard Attenborough, and Dennis Nedry, played by the incredible Wayne Knight.
It's cool to compartmentalize inside.
I don't feel like you can talk about one of these characters without talking about the other. As a child, I definitely didn't realize that Hammond was the baddie. And I think that's because he looks like a sweet, friendly neighborhood grandpa, but he is actually an egomaniac billionaire who consistently imposes his will upon the world. And we see this basically from the very beginning. He invites himself into Alan and Ellie's trailer and opens up a bottle of champagne that they try to tell him they've been saving.
What the hell do you think you're doing in here? Hey, we were saving that!
For today, I guarantee it.
John, you're a billionaire. If you really wanted to woo these people, you couldn't bring some bubbly of your own to share. But no, and he just keeps wearing them down and essentially bribes them into going to Jurassic Park. One of Hammond's favorite sayings about Jurassic Park is that he spared no expense.
Really spectacular. Spared no expense.
Absolutely spectacular design. Spared no expense.
But we simply know this is not true.
Spared no expense.
Take Dennis Nedry, for example. He is the one and only person tending to all of the security on Jurassic Park, the only thing separating the humans from the giant genetically modified monsters. And Dennis tries to point out to Hammond why this is dangerous, but of course, Hammond simply dismisses him. Hammond also skipped steps with the Dino DNA. He used supercomputers and thinking machines to break down the Dino DNA. He used supercomputers and thinking machines to break down the Dino DNA, but then filled in the holes with amphibian DNA and...
bingo. Dino DNA.
Didn't do this process properly because it would have taken years. Ian Malcolm explains why this is such a problem. Because Hammond did not earn the knowledge for himself, he doesn't respect it.
I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
and this theme of respect is seen throughout the entire movie and woven throughout different character arcs.
So, you know, try to show a little respect.
Okay. Arguably, the characters with the most respect for the power of creation in nature are Ian, Malcolm, and Muldoon, who consistently express concerns throughout the movie. You then have Alan and Ellie, and while they are apprehensive at first, they do get swept up in the awe and magic of seeing dinosaurs brought to life, and who can blame them? However, eventually they do realize that messing with creation and the power of nature is unwise.
Malcolm was right. Look. Life found a way.
Especially if it is simply to monetize this for the sake of capitalism. However, John Hammond has a harder time reckoning with this.
When we have control again.
You never had control. That's the illusion. I was overwhelmed by the power of this place. But I made a mistake too. I didn't have enough respect for that power, and it's out now. The only thing that matters now are the people we love.
And that is a message I can get behind. Have respect and appreciation, both for your fellow man and for nature. And so, in honor of that message and in honor of the timeless classic that is Jurassic Park, ice cream!